Hey guys, happy Sunday. It has been a couple of weeks and we did a series on Moses, and then we talked about some of the things that were more important than commandments. And I wanted to tell y'all a story about having courage. It's been a long time since we've been able to be together, and I know a lot of us are either back at school right now or we might be going to school online. And it's been a long time, and there are just lots of things going on in this world right now that feel unsettling. So I wanted to talk to you today about having courage. When we talked about Moses, Moses was a leader that was chosen by God to carry out a very special mission. He was to save the Israelites, and he also helped. He helped share God's rules and word to all the people here on earth. Well, after Moses died, it was time for a new leader. And so I'm going to tell you the story about Joshua. And our story today, Joshua, he was really hesitant. That means he was nervous, he was scared. He wasn't really sure about what he wanted to do, and he knew the job ahead of him was big. But there at the beginning of the book of Joshua, in chapter 1, verse 1 through 9, God tells Joshua over and over and over again to be brave and to be courageous. And in fact, it says, God commissions Joshua to be the new leader of the Israelites after Moses died. That means he said, "You're hired." Joshua will be the one to lead the Israelites to the promised land. After 40 years of wandering in the desert, the people will finally be home. But the promised land is now full of new challenges. So God tells Joshua 3 times in these 9 verses, be strong and courageous. And that's what God tells us every single day, because he reminds us that God is with us, always with us. So I wanted to share this story because I thought it was appropriate, because not only was Joshua hesitant about taking over as a leader after Moses died, but surely he was nervous to be a leader of people. Can you imagine the burden to be a leader and to take care of a whole group of people? Imagine how your parents feel when they try to take care of you, or imagine how your teachers feel when they want to keep you safe at school. So there are lots of times where we might be afraid to be courageous, but we need to know that God says, be strong and courageous. Listen to this. This is Joshua chapter 1, verse 9. I've commanded you to be brave and strong, haven't I? Don't be alarmed or terrified, because the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Y'all, that's wherever you go. Whether it's school, on the bus, in the cafeteria, to the playground, to bed at night, to walking down the driveway to take the garbage out late by yourself one night. Y'all, God is with us all the time. And that's why sometimes it's easy to get caught up in this world here on earth where lots of scary things happen. But we have to remember that God is always with us, and he does want us to be brave and strong. So now that I've recapped a little bit about Joshua, I want to tell you a story about after he became leader. Now, I've been reading out of a couple of different Bibles that we have, and this is such an important message, y'all, that the story of Joshua and the Battle of Jericho is in all 3 of the children's Bibles I've been using. So that tells you right there just how valuable it is. Because a lot of times in children's Bibles, they tell us some of the biggest stories of the Bible. And so sometimes they leave out stories that might not be, as easy to understand. But this is a story that everyone can understand, because everybody understands what it's like to be scared sometimes. But that's what God's telling us. Be strong and be courageous. So this is the Battle of Jericho, and for any of you that have ever had Miss Diana for our Sunday school teacher, y'all know she teaches the song, The Battle of Jericho. She loves to sing. So this right here, I'm going to read to you out of the Spark Storybook Bible, but the Battle of Jericho is also in the Jesus Storybook Bible, and it's also in the Jesus Calling Bible. All right, so here we go. The Israelites had finally gotten to the land that God had promised. They stood outside the tall walls of the city of Jericho. God told Joshua it was time to take over the city. So Joshua told the Israelites about God's plan. Here's what we'll do, said Joshua. Joshua counted off 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Priests from the group, you will each play a shofar. Keep blowing all the time, even if your lips get tired. That is like kind of a combination of like a trumpet and a trombone. It's a long instrument that you blow out of to make a sound. Kind of like when you see a movie and the king or queen is entering and they blow doo 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 doo. It's kind of like that. Keep blowing all the time, even if your lips get tired. Next, Joshua looked at the soldiers in the group. Grab your weapons and walk in front of the priest. The rest of you, walk behind the priest. Everyone needs to walk quietly. Any questions? Okay, let's go. So look, you see they're blowing and the people, they're following behind and they're frightened. The horns were loud. The people of Jericho could hear them through the thick stone walls of the city. What was happening? The Israelites kept walking. Left, right, went their feet marching around the city. The Israelites wondered how God's plan was going to work as they looked at the thick city walls. The Israelites did this for 6 whole days. Y'all, they marched and they played those horns for 6 days. The people of Jericho watched every day. They had never seen anything like this before. Should they be afraid? Or should they laugh? On the 7th day, the Israelites got up at sunrise and walked around the city 7 times. After the 7th time, Joshua told the people to shout right after the priests blew their horns one last time. God's plan was for the walls to fall flat when the Israelites shouted. The Israelites shouted so loud that the ground began to shake. The thick stone walls began to shake too, and soon they began to crumble. Huge stones crashed to the ground. The wall came tumbling down, and the Israelites got what God promised. So look, this is pretty neat. Look at them celebrating. And you know what it says to do? It says to take a piece of paper and to roll it up to make a shofar, and you can march around your room playing it. So you see, when you blow, so you can make your own at home to play. That's a pretty awesome story. And if you think about it, just like Joshua, just like Moses, just like David facing off against the Goliath, all of these people from the Bible, they all were sharing with us how to be brave and how to be courageous, even when they didn't feel like being brave and courageous. So I hope that the next time you're nervous or the next time you're scared, you remember that God is with you all the time, and I want you to be brave and courageous. I hope you're doing well. I hope your family's doing well, and I love you all very much. I hope to see you soon. And if you haven't come to a drive-in church service yet, y'all need to come, where they're handing out our children's packets. We hand out crayons for everyone to color with. So please try to come and join us someday at drive-in church. I hope you're well. Bye-bye.